I didn't find out the way people usually find out things that matter. There was no request. No sit-down conversation. Just a passing sentence. Tossed over a pile of folded laundry, like a fact already recorded somewhere official. Since you'll be home for Christmas. My mother said, not looking up. You can keep an eye on the kids while everyone else goes out. Different ages. Different schedules. None of them mine. She said it the way you say the sun sets early this time of year. As if it had always been true and always would be. I remember standing there with a sock in my hand, the moment stretching. Not anger, at least not yet. What I felt first was something older and duller, recognition. This was how it usually happened. Decisions were made in a room I wasn't in, and then gently delivered to me like favors. I was the reliable one. The one without complications. The one whose time was apparently flexible because it had always been bent. When I didn't respond right away, she added, it'll only be a few days. You're good with kids. And you don't really have plans, right? That question landed harder than the assumption. I realized I hadn't told her my plans because, in some part of me, I didn't believe they would count. Growing up, I learned quickly that saying yes earned warmth, and saying no earned confusion. Not punishment exactly, more like a withdrawal. Conversations cooled. Praise disappeared. So I learned to anticipate. To make myself useful before being asked. Christmas had always been like this. I filled in the gaps so others could rest, travel, celebrate. I told myself it didn't bother me. That I was choosing generosity. But standing there, sock still in my hand, I felt something shift. Not dramatic, just a quiet question forming. What if I didn't rearrange myself this time? I didn't say no. I didn't say yes. I said, I might not be around the whole time. She waved that away. We'll figure out. That night, I lay awake replaying the sentence we'll figure it out. And understanding exactly what it meant. You'll adjust. The next morning, instead of calling to argue, I opened my laptop. I confirmed plans I had half made and never finalized because I assumed I would cancel them. A work opportunity that extended through the holidays. Not glamorous. Just real. Just mine. I didn't announce it. I didn't justify it. I simply let it exist. Over the next week I dropped small hints. I'll be out of town by the 23rd. That project might overlap Christmas. I won't have my phone much. Each time, my mother smiled in that patient way. The one that said she heard me but didn't believe me. As if reality would eventually correct itself and I would fall back into place. The closer Christmas got, the heavier the silence felt. Bags appeared in the hallway, snacks, toys, labeled clothes. Preparations made without me, but somehow for me. I noticed my name penciled onto a handwritten schedule to the fridge babysitting, all day. Seeing it written down did something to me. It made the assumption visible, tangible. Harder to pretend was harmless. The day before I was supposed to arrive, my work supervisor sent a final confirmation email, dates, expectations. A reminder that cover days was mandatory once scheduled. I forwarded it. Briefly, no commentary. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. This email, my mother said, breathless. What is this? It's my schedule, I said. My voice surprised me. Steady. Not defensive. But you're supposed to be here. She said. Your sister already booked her trip. Your brother's counting on you. The kids. I won't be home. I repeated, not louder. Just clearer. There was a pause on the line. Then, sharp and small, a sound I never heard from before. A gasp. This can't be happening. She said. Not angry. Disoriented, like the floor had moved. For a moment, I almost apologized. Habit surged forward, ready to smooth things over, to offer a compromise. But something held me still. Not spite, just exhaustion. I told you I might not be available. I said. She started listing alternatives, dismissing them as she went. Everyone else was busy. Tickets were non-refundable. Plans were already set. I understand. I said, and meant it in a limited way. I understood the inconvenience. I just no longer accepted responsibility for fixing it. What changed things wasn't my tone or my resolve. It was the next email that arrived while we were still on the phone. HR. Copied to the entire team. Holiday coverage assignments locked. No changes permitted. She heard the notification sound through the receiver. Is that them again? She asked. Yes. Another pause. Then the reality settled in. This wasn't an authority outside the family now, one that didn't bend to tradition or guilt or history, something she couldn't talk around. The conversation ended quietly. No explosion, no accusations. Just logistics being reconsidered aloud. Later, I heard through relatives that other arrangements were made. A neighbor stepped in, someone cancelled a dinner. Someone else stayed home. The system adjusted, not gracefully, but effectively. When I came home weeks later, the house felt different. Not hostile, just recalibrated. My mother didn't bring it up. Neither did I, she didn't apologize. But she didn't assume, either. I noticed small changes. She asked before making plans that involved me. She phrased things as questions instead of conclusions. Sometimes she caught herself mid-sentence and started over. It wasn't warmth exactly, it was caution in me. I felt something unfamiliar. Not triumph, not relief. A kind of groundedness. The knowledge that my time existed whether or not it was claimed. The relationship didn't heal, it shifted. There was a loss in that. A softness that might never return. But there was also space. I learned that being dependable had become a role I never auditioned for. And that stepping out of it didn't make me cruel. It made me visible. Christmas came and went. No speeches. No reckoning, just the quiet understanding that next time, plans would need my consent. And that silence, when held long enough, could finally say no.